Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to another review here on Pez of the Mind. I am James Phoenix. With me is Chriz the Mole,
Hello.
two-time award winner, and Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hello.
Two-time award winner, three-time pleaser of his mum.
No.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about the bingo hole. 4 times.
Ha! Very funny. Anyway, we are here today to take a look at the animated adaptation of the popular Batman comic Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay.
It's loosely based upon it.
No, okay.
That was the thing of, like, they changed a lot of stuff with this to make it work as a film, so it's not as close as some other films have been.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing either, because it works as a film. It's a great film.
It is an excellent film.
But yes, the story is largely considered the first Elseworlds, even though I don't believe it had the Elseworlds on the book.
No, because I think it was kind of before they established that as a thing.
Yeah, before they said, oh, this works, let's do more, and then they decided to call it Elseworlds.
Yep. Because they needed to compete with Marvel's What If.
They're completely different.
Oh.
Marvel's What Ifs are more like, this is a story that happened in the comic, what if it happened differently? What if when Punisher hunted Spider-Man, what if he actually killed him? Which is an awesome one, I got that one. Whereas Elseworlds are more like, okay, let's take the characters and let's re-envision them in this setting. Like, let's re-envision Batman as a vampire or Superman as Frankenstein and stuff.
Like a more directly, like, this is literally What If versus Elseworld is like another world.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Elseworld has a world where Supergirl and Batgirl existed before Superman and Batman were even a thing.
Interesting.
They even have one where they existed in ancient, where Batman and Superman existed in ancient Egypt, which is cool.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
One of my favorites was that Gotham Noir. I think that was an Elseworlds one. If it's not, it should be.
Yeah.
Because it literally exists in a world in which Batman's just a character.
Yep. That's fun.
But yes, Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah,
which
it's
is Batman vs. Jack the Ripper.
It is taking place in a in a pseudo, turn of the century-esque world, but with steampunk elements added in.
Like Victorian almost, but with steampunk.
Thank you, Pew. Victorian England is where it's mainly set, but then they've had its steampunk elements, which a lot of stuff does when it's fantasy in that era.
Yep.
Which is cool.
It is.
And we do get a lot of cool stuff within this.
Yeah.
Like, I love Batman's costume. That's always fun.
That was a good costume. It the way the mask was designed, it was more like a rough thing where it had the eyes and the mouth cut out, but it was like you could see his actual eyes. It wasn't like, like sometimes a Batman puts a cowl on, it's just like the white eyes. You could actually see his eyes, so you kind of see him emote more.
Yeah, it was more like it had been made for that time.
Yeah.
I like it.
Like, even his grapple gun isn't as good.
Yeah. I was shocked when he pulled that out. I'm like, oh, he has a grapple gun in this. Didn't expect that. Cool.
I mean, I could expect it, given the steampunk stuff. Like,
yeah, that's
that ropes and basic metal work,
Yeah, and based on the fact it's Batman, so but what surprised me is, or not surprised me, one thing I liked was the fact it's clearly a worse one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it burns and just snaps with fire, whereas a lot of Batman's ones now use some element of metal intertwined with the wires to make it stronger and more fire resistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Very.
And this is a Blu-ray disc, and I think a DVD, also digital downloads. But honestly, I would recommend don't buy the digital download.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've said this before, like, for not much more, you can just buy the Blu-ray, and they normally come with a free digital copy.
There you go.
And that way you've also got it permanently because you've got a physical copy.
Right.
Which is cool. Plus, more the physical ones have more extras. Like this has 2 Batman Brave and the Bold episodes.
Nice.
Which surprised me, but I liked it. The only reason it surprised me they had 2 is usually they throw in 1 of Batman the Animated Series. They didn't do that with this.
Nope.
But yeah, the actual story, it's Batman trying to solve the case of Jack the Ripper.
Yep.
Which I won't spoil who he is, but I will say it is different to the comics, only because it's a big twist and part of this story is finding out who he is.
Mhm.
Literally, if we say it, we've just wrecked the whole movie.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to try and avoid saying it with him.
Yeah.
Spoilers, it's Robin. No.
I was gonna say spoilers, it's Jim's mom, but
But I thought he hated whores.
Ah.
What did you think of the old woman with the hat?
Yeah, she was fun.
Where if you look at her and you look at her design, she is definitely this universe's Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
No,
think
she's
so.
not. She's not, but it's funny. Just because when I saw her hat, I was like, Scarecrow.
Yeah,
But
they
it
kind of
looks
had that
like
look. It was an interesting combination because she had that look, but at the same time, her name was Marlene, which is very close to Harleen, and she's voiced by Tara Strong, so it's almost like an amalgam.
Not really, because she didn't have any characteristics of Harley.
She was crazy.
A lot
Not
of
in the
people are
same way.
crazy.
Yeah, not in the same way. I mean,
I'm just saying
Two-Face
that.
is crazy.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what threw me off because I reckon I picked up on the voice actor, so I was hearing a little bit of Harleen into it, but because it was the same voice actress, it probably wasn't intentional. But yeah, I could have seen her become in this universe a Scarecrow. That would have been cool.
No, I wasn't saying she should. I was just making a joke because of her hat.
Ah, okay.
But they did add characters that weren't seen in the original to this,
Oh, okay.
like Poison Ivy, for example.
Nice.
And what they did when they added them is fine. I mean, yeah, obviously I like Ivy, but that's a different universe as Ivy. I'm okay with what they did.
Yep, it worked.
It's certainly a better death than that piece of shit known as Arkham Knight.
Mm.
But
Literally the biggest fucking of the year it came out.
Yep.
But yeah, they added characters and they did them in a not realistic, but you know what I mean, in a way that matched the world. So
Yeah.
and it worked. And yeah, you do get a sense of, oh, who is Jack the Ripper? And you try and solve it. And like I said, it is different to who it is in the comic.
Yeah.
So don't be expecting the same reveal, which is cool.
I think that's kind of good because then you can read the comic but still find something new and enjoyable here.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, one thing I did enjoy is near the end when Jack's trying to kill Catwoman. She actually does the symbol in blood on the light and turns into the sky. Now, it's not a perfect symbol, which makes so much fucking sense because she's drawing it in haste in blood. It would be kind of shitty if she'd taken the time to draw it perfectly.
Yeah.
We're like, no, you could have easily got away in this time. Also, I gave it props for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Ferris wheel.
Mm.
It did something a lot of Ferris wheels don't do in fiction.
Burn.
You didn't see Death Note, apparently. But yeah,
Oh, that's
the
true.
Death Note film we reviewed on this channel. But yeah,
Well, that was less burn and more being ripped down by a demon, but yes.
but say this right here is the Ferris wheel.
Mhm.
And you
Okay.
can tell how it's meant to be. This film, it goes dung.
I enjoyed
Most films, it turns into a fucking death wheel and just spirals out of control before it dies.
True.
And it's so cliche to just see it going, "Ugh, death."
Yep.
I'm dead.
At least this one, it fell in a more realistic way. It was, and you're like, that's cool. And I did like the reveal of who Jack was. I thought it made sense. And it is a big ooh moment.
Yep.
I will say I did see it coming before he was revealed he was him.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say how too much how, but it makes sense. I didn't figure it out until like one scene before it because they did something a scene before so it would make more sense.
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh, okay, and it makes sense. Which so I don't mind because the whole film you were still thinking, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it took me a lot longer to figure this one out than I did read Scooby Doo meets Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
I figured that one out in like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, it's. And yeah, it definitely was. And they're like, how can this be? Trust me, if we ever go to review that, we're going to have to mention who he is,
Okay.
who the murderer is, because otherwise it doesn't. None of the story makes fucking sense.
Oh.
And it's too obvious who he is. But yeah.
Mm.
But only obvious if you liked Batman, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
If you go in as a Scooby Doo fan, then the reveal might still take you by.
Hmm.
But yes, like I said, it's a good story. I like this. It's cool
Fun.
seeing Batman where he was. I hope they do more of the Elseworld stories as
Yeah.
direct-to-DVD movies.
Definitely.
Personally, I'd like the Vampire trilogy with Batman to be brought out.
That'd be
That's my
cool.
favorite one. And it would fix my one problem.
Which
Yeah.
is?
I love the comic, but as I mentioned before now to people, and everyone knows, I'm slightly dyslexic. One thing I can't do with my dyslexia properly is read joined up writing properly straight away.
Mm.
Mhm.
In the Vampire trilogy, most of the like dialogue boxes, not the speaking ones, just like the narrators and some of the other dialogue boxes in the square ones, are all done in like old style joined up writing. So it takes me a hell of a lot more time to get through them.
Oof.
But I still fucking love them.
Fair enough.
You don't have to worry about that when they're speaking the roles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless they make it sound like Bane from Dark Knight Rises, then I wouldn't be able to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Gotham's Reckoning. Yeah, it's like Gotham's Reckoning. No more. No. Batman. And you're like, what?
Come
Are you
again.
even saying stuff like that, or are you just an actor that forgot his dialogue and is sort of doing like Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead 3 when he's like, Carbar to to try and get through. Great film. People should totally check that out, by the way. Army of Darkness. Doesn't get
Woo.
off, but yes. Like I said, it just works. This whole thing works.
Mhm.
Batman and Selina's relationship is brilliant in this.
Yes.
And yeah, Batman is pretty much Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like it with Selina where they actually gave her this interesting backstory of she was trying to protect the poor and downtrodden because of everything that she went through in her early days, and the fact they went out of the way to explain how a woman in Victorian England would get so skilled with a whip because she was a lion tamer in the circus.
Yep. Which yeah, it is like I said, the whole thing is cool, and it is worth checking out. And unlike a lot of the animated movies that are coming out recently, it's not really tied to a film.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way. Like a lot of them aren't tied to films, but like they happen to do like Justice League versus Teen Titans at the same time as Batman v
Mhm.
Superman,
Mm,
and they happen to release a Suicide Squad movie at the same time as the movie.
right.
This one doesn't seem to want to be trying to influence what something else that came before it.
Yeah.
And it also isn't tied to their shared universe that a load of them have had, not from the movie after Flashpoint,
Right.
which I still say is weird because Flashpoint is the one which should have done it.
Mm,
Because they did Flashpoint, which literally made New 52. Then they did a movie afterwards, and they said that movie and all the movies going forward were all going to be in one universe. Flashpoint wasn't part of it, and you're like, why? That's the one that could have created this with so much ease.
yeah.
But oh well, it still worked, and it's still a better. The Flashpoint movie of Flashpoint Paradox is still a better Flashpoint than the TV show.
That's fair.
But at this point, this can of Coca-Cola with vanilla is a better Flashpoint than the TV show.
Ah,
Woo!
tasty.
It is nice.
Also recommending peach and mango. Those also looked really good.
They are. I got a pack of them downstairs as well.
Nice.
No, zero sugar. For all of you health-crazed people out there, drink this.
Okay. I like what they did with Hugo Strange in this movie.
I like what they did with Hugo Strange.
Or it's like, and it makes, of all the characters that interact with, he's one of the ones that makes the most sense to appear in Victorian England because he's just a scientist and a doctor. So it just made sense. Oh, he works at the asylum studying the crazy people, and then he ends up being a victim of Jack himself when he tries to out what he's figured out based on psychological evaluation.
Yeah, they did a good job with all of them. Like Gordon being in there makes perfect sense because he's just a cop, and they had cops in Victorian England.
Right, yeah.
And they do a good job with him. And yeah, they do a good job with almost all the characters. So I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah. Like he goes to the president like, oh, my name is Cyrus. I'm like, it's Grundy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the worst thing they could have done is just randomly put someone in here who didn't belong and instantly made them like how they are now. So if they didn't even match, you'd just be like, oh god. Also, props that they added characters, and all the characters nearly all the characters they added were females, just to boost the female roster a bit for the movie. They didn't add Joker.
They did not.
Because when they say that they're adding characters, one of my thoughts was, oh god, it's going to be a Joker story. And it'll be revealed it's Joke the Riddle or Joke the Rip, and I'm like, no, it's not. Thank God.
Yeah, unfortunately, a number of his purported past identities are Jack. Unfortunately.
To be fair, some of them are, yeah, but you still don't know whether or not Jack the Ripper would be him because Jack the Ripper is a disguise.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I said, they did a good job just making them all fit and just feel like this universe belonged.
Yeah. How awesome were the 3 Robins, by the way? That was great. I like them.
How did you feel when Superman showed up? Only he was called Splendid Man because the word super hadn't been invented yet. He wasn't. He's not in this movie. Before anyone thinks, wait, what? No, he wasn't.
No. I like how it took an Elseworld to Victorian England for Bullock to finally get a promotion to chief.
But yeah, so how would you rate this movie?
It's a really well done movie. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's a really well done movie. A lot of great characters. Really enjoyable. Everything worked well and made sense for the universe they were in. There was enough steampunk elements that it explained why Batman could do certain things, but not so much that it overpowered the Victorian feel. The voice acting was really good. The animation looked really good. The story they told was excellent. And it didn't run too long. It was only about an hour and 15 minutes, so it didn't overstay its time either. It told the story it needed to, but it didn't drag on, which was good.
Concise.
Ironically, according to the box, you're 1 minute off.
Damn.
It was 74 minutes.
Ah, okay.
Damn Jim adding time to stuff.
I did.
Jim was the guy who once found a young up-and-coming writer called Peter Jackson and told him, "Oh, that movie should be longer." And he was like, "By God, man, you're right. Thank you, strange mustache man." And Jim's like, "Mustache away!" and just jumped out the train window.
True story.
True story.
That's what he does. Like he once found a down on his luck George Lucas and sat down and goes, "Look, how about you remaster your already great works?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Because then you could recharge people to go see them." And he's just like, "By God, I think you're onto something. People would buy to see them again." Do you have any requests? Well, could you please include me in episode 1? Guys, like, certainly. What's your name? He's like, looks on, just sees 2 jars next to each other.
Nice. That's
Okay.
good.
These are all fact. But no.
Yes.
Personally, I would rate this 2 thumbs up. I like this film. Actually, maybe a thumb and a half.
Okay.
But it's still, because it's not as good as some of the animated movies they've done, but it's really good. I love that movie.
Mm.
And yes, Pew, we're now dealing in a world where thumb and a half is a rating.
I was just thinking that,
Yeah, thumb and a half.
Thumb and a half. There you go.
Because I thought you would just go like this, but I like how you have them get sideways too,
Yeah, thumb, half. Thumb and a half.
That would say like half a thumb, like thumb.
Half.
Yeah.
I would argue that is still a thumb.
But it's bent over like in half.
But like that, it's half because it's on its side, so it's like the minor.
Okay.
Alrighty, Pew, your rating?
I'd give this an 8.5. I really liked it and found enjoyable and the plot twist and everything. So I'd say if you're a fan of Batman, you'd go out and see it. Or even, DC in general.
Yep. Alright, I will say if you're a fan of superheroes in Victorian England, avoid this movie and go watch the live action version of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No, don't do that.
In fact, go out and buy the special edition of that movie. It's wonderful. And it's based on literary characters too, so Jim likes it because it's got book characters in it. So yay!
Indeed. So this has been a look at Gotham by Gaslight. Stay tuned for more great reviews coming up. I don't remember, what are we reviewing this weekend? Anybody remember?
WrestleMania?
No, that's a week away.
I can through my magic device that's in my hand. It's a magical box. This. I'm gonna call it Mole's seeing glass. How's that?
I like it.
And when I go to where's XL? XL. Future reading. I click the schedule. After this, we have nothing this weekend. Except for on Saturday the 31st, we have the top 5 hero songs.
Indeed. Cool.
On some show called TFC.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Which I think stands for Turkey Fried Chicken.
Ah.
But yes, we have top 5 hero songs.
All right, so then we'll, in that case, we should probably do a meeting either after that or on Sunday so we can set up the next month.
Well, I would argue if Pew's off on Sunday, we should do Teen Titans Go Season 1.
That would be a good call.
If you can log into your account for the CW, watch Scooby-Doo and Supernatural, and yeah, Scooby-Doo and Supernatural. Also, yeah, see if you can get.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that yet.
You won't be able to do that yet.
That's not out here.
Well, you can do it, Jim.
I could.
You could. But yeah, I was just saying, since we had the day free, unless Pew's doing something, because I think it's Easter. Jim looked shocked by that announcement. It's Easter.
No, it is Easter.
It's the time of the year where apparently people can rise from the dead.
Yep.
Totally different to Halloween because we have chocolate eggs and bunnies.
Yes.
Jesus rose from the dead so we could have the movie Hop.
Yep. And we can maintain the record running because in all the years that we've been doing this, we have another year where we still are not doing a top 5 resurrections list.
Actually, we're doing that in April, and Easter Sunday is April 1st. If you knew your calendar correctly for religious holidays, Jim, and respected other people's cultures, you would know it's on Sunday, April 1st, which means our resurrection of Final Countdown is in the same month as Easter.
Boom!
Okay. Fair enough.
Joke's on you.
Boom.
Nice. All right, well, we'll see you this weekend for this month's Final Countdown, folks, and other great stuff coming up. Peace.
Hero.